Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to another recording of Shantae's Risky's Revenge, Director's Cut. We found a dungeon. We figured out how to get into a dungeon in the last recording. It took us way too long to figure out how to get into the dungeon, and we got a transformation into a monkey ability, which I think will open up a doorway to go to different places, but we didn't find like a boss, which I find that a little surprising, that there was no boss fight, there was no life upgrade. I could certainly use a life upgrade since I'm taking a lot of dumb hits, but the game seems fairly balanced anyway, so alright. So now I can turn into this monkey, and then I can turn it back, and now we have a magic jam. We have 3 of them. I was expecting there to be more, but okay. The monkey is a little bit smaller and thus a little bit harder to control. And you don't transform back when you leave the room. You've still got a lot to do and a lot to learn, and a lot of things that can be bought at the shop, so grinding out through all of this is probably not a terrible idea. Let's see, I'm just gonna... Well, I could teleport to the pumpkin patch, or I could teleport to the other area. Alright, I'm gonna warp to the lilac field first. So I can just run back this way, and yeah, I still don't really have a way through any of that unless there was a secret passage. But getting magic is not a bad idea. So run all the way to the right this way. Can't quite play that way. You have to be better about defeating the enemies. I think I might just buy the damage up item. It feels like, since it is taking about 3 hits to kill everything, getting that down to 2 hits would be beneficial as far as just a time-saving mechanic. Right. I don't think I can... Yeah, I want to go all the way to the left here. Let's see. Turn into a monkey. And climb up this way, and then climb up that way, and that's a bad guy. I thought that was a good guy. I don't know why I thought that. Okay. Fall to your death. Well, I don't think I can actually make it through this area, actually. Unless there's some secret. Nope, I can't get through that area. So, you're they're gonna get to keep their secret for a while. While we're here, it might be worth it to run all the way to the right. Might also die, which then I'll just get loaded back, I assume, to where I saved last. We still don't really have a way to break rocks. But we can do, if we can do things right, we can now get to higher places to open this and end up with another magic jam. So that's not bad. And then didn't realize those had a stomping ability. Back this way and this way, and we'll talk to the zombie girl and see what she has to say. Squid Baron lives somewhere in this forest. Start with him. That seems to still be the hint. Alright. Man, I am gonna just end up dying if I'm not careful here. I just want to warp back, if at all possible, to where I was. Alright. Alright, here we go, over here. And as long as I don't run into too many enemies that manage to get cheap shots on me, I should be able to make it back to the... And the monkey just in general goes further. Interesting, I would have thought we would have gotten heart pieces, instead we just have a full heart holder. It's gonna be fairly hard to get all the collectibles, if you actually need to get all the collectibles in this game, if they don't bother to show you like all of them on the map. Let's see. Now I want to jump in here, then I want to go in here, and then I want to press up to go in here. It's a little weird that you press up to go into buildings, but then you jump to go forward and backwards. Okay, so we could get the silky cream for three jams, or we get the crush puff. Can we get both? Yes. Silky cream, and next time we'll need 300 and 300 more. I'm gonna get the crush puff, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and buy one of these vials of potions just so we can see what they are. Let's see. Yeah, we just have a vial now. Alright, and while we're testing things out, we'll come this direction, and this guy says Blarg no smash me, so if I now go with crush puff and then activate this, that seems to not have been the item I needed to get past that. Well, that stinks, but whatever. we probably will benefit from having that ability at some point in the future when we start to take on real bosses, which I have believed there is actually still a boss in the other area, and we may just be running around at the moment collecting some things just because. That was just a bunch of gems. Now we're in Polyp Bay, which that does not sound like a cool name. Yeah, we did fall to our death and it did take some of our health away. This is one of those situations where you can get really finicky if you're not careful. Probably is a job for the monkey. Yeah, this is definitely a challenge for the monkey. I'm hoping that this kind of checkpoints me, but I'm not sure I believe it does. I'm not sure where this is going to take us. See, I can grab a block, yes. But but can I grab that block? No. Can I grab that block? No. Yeah, I don't think the monkey alone can make that jump. So either that's an exit, or we're gonna find out we're actually doing something that is like very late game. I assume if I see trees, then it's safe to land in that area. That did give me a bit of a checkpoint, so it wasn't terrible. But if I game over, we go back to where I last saved, and it could be a while from where we are. Seems like there's a lot of this. Seems like a little too much of this. Yes, I would like to save my journey. Of course, I need a teleportation spot because I do not ever want to make that trip. I don't ever want to make that trip again. And the good news is there is a teleportation spot just to the left of this. So, assuming either I can't hit these guys or you have to get the timing really accurate on that. Come on. Now, in that previous map area, I wouldn't be surprised if there is some secret that we can access later when we can swim. But at the moment, we'll just take this gold and call that a victory. Apparently this is somebody's relaxation spot. And a magic jam. And yeah, I don't know if there's gonna be somebody here later on, or what, or if we've just been given a small reward of a magic jam and the about 40%, 40 coins, 40 rupees. Hey, this guy has something to say to us. You need to see the mayor. He's at his happy place. It's a seaside retreat at the far end of Polyp Bay. He said to bribe you with this. You got 100 gems. Sweet. So, okay. So that's where the mayor was, but we needed to trigger this prompt first before we went and saw the mayor. And now the mayor isn't here. Seriously? What did I do wrong that wouldn't have triggered that? Like, we were here. We fast traveled here. Then we came over here. He sure feels like he would be right there. Alright, well, let's do this. Let's do this the old-fashioned way, I guess. We'll warp to the pumpkin patch. We'll see he's still there. Well, like, I guess the question would have been, could we have just walked past him? No, it's a full-on barrier. We'll just walk the distance and potentially die. Let's not do that. Let's instead use this and see how this works. Alright, that is a full health, which we kind of needed to know that. 1, 2, 1, 2. We are now at the point where it's just 2 hits to kill these guys. Girls, whatever. So there is kind of a high motivation to go and buy more upgrades. Let's see what she has to say. When you're not sure what to do, come to talk to all of us. That seems to be the only hint she's ever gonna give. Alright. Let's see. Attract dropped items like a magnet. Is that really worth it? Or should I just save up for this? Or should I upgrade my attacks? You know what? I'll just buy that out. And I'll buy that out because it doesn't seem like we're going to ever have great use for that. So we do now just have a key item and some other key items. You'd think more of these like key items would be on display by default. And I still feel like this one doesn't have anything to sell. Yeah. It is very possible that this is just like the first act, and in finishing the first act you'll then get the ability to go to different lands and have 3 more bosses and 3 more transformations. But I also wouldn't be surprised if this is a fairly short game. But they are also managing to stretch this out quite a bit. See, this guy's just still saying the exact same thing. What I want to try here is, if I turn into a monkey and hit the water, it transforms me back into her instantly. Okay. Good to know. And then go this direction. I don't want to do this a second time, but I don't think I have a choice. Either I've kind of soft locked the game and need to go back to the first dungeon, or I've done everything in the first dungeon and I just need to like directly walk to each of these locations. And there's still like nothing here that would make sense. Not unless there was a secret like monkey passage somewhere that I don't see. Yeah, you get an almost instant tap ability to transform to the monkey, but I don't think you'll get that same ability to transform into anything else. Standing on this for a long time, I don't think it's going to do anything. I wonder what that higher platform here is all about, because you kind of don't need it. It's just like a secondary option. But I definitely didn't want to do that. Yeah, kind of once you get the idea, it's fairly quick if you can not fall to your death a lot. Yeah, I'm not getting better, I'm getting worse. Probably because I'm just not taking my time. I'll just save again. Sorry, went quiet there. There are definitely ways I could have fallen into the water without taking damage. Back to this point, then back here. He's just not here. I'm gonna just walk around this general area and hit the B button just to see if possibly there's something I missed. Nope. I think what happened is we have not finished the dungeon. That's about the only thing I can guess. We did something enough to trigger that the next spot should happen, but not enough to tell us that we missed something in the dungeon and we need to go back and we need to beat that guy. So 1, 2, 3. Still taking 3 hits, but being faster about it. You know what? We should probably just equip this. Now we have the little magnet, so we don't have to run towards the gems and potentially hurt ourselves. Of course, it would be a very convenient point to kind of rage quit also if it turned out the game was just so glitched that there is no recovering from it. But I would have a hard time immediately just buying into that idea. Alright, well, now that we don't need potions. Unless the monkey has the ability to jump downward, I'm gonna have to just go through the whole game, the whole dungeon area. But I guess I don't have to fight these guys if I don't want to. So we can maybe do something with that. Maybe there is just secret monkey paths all over the place that do make this easier. There was this whole thing. Yeah. I forgot about this. Okay, we've got a key area, but we don't have a key. Alright, so find a key. I definitely was not expecting to end up having to go through the entire levels twice, but seems like that is the way this is gonna go. Because there's clearly a whole bunch of secrets I missed and just kind of stupidly ignored. And here we have a whole nother collection of things to hit with our hair. I don't know if this is actually going to reveal a secret path or if this is going to just reveal a shape. The monkey can't attack, so we're gonna do a lot of transforming and then untransforming and then attacking. Well, we've made a dinosaur mouth, and there's clearly more that we're supposed to be doing. And I had to jump right next to it to attack. And that got me a key. Okay, well, I boned it up. There's really no other way to put it. I really dropped the ball on. I don't know if I can actually make a jump, or if we're gonna have to go all the way around again. And then the whole chain climbing thing is a joke. There's way more save spots here. There's like 4 or 5 save guys inside this one temple. This temple is huge. And here we have the toppled statues again. With either one of the Mighty Switch Force girls' faces or just a kind of very generic anime girl face, I'd say. And this definitely does strike me as this is the boss. I guess maybe she isn't actually topless. There might be an indication here of a bikini top. It's just kind of hard to tell in a bluish stone statue design color, monocolor. So you managed to solve my labyrinth, but it won't do you any good. My magic seal is staying right here. Me and my babies are ready to tussle. Alright, let's throw this and this and this and this and this and then this and this and this. And actually hit the guy and just use as much magic as possible. Alright, now that we're out of magic, we'll just whack this guy a whole bunch and just try and decide. He's eating the food to recover his health, and I'm getting hit like crazy. He seems to be doing math or something, or magic. And I'm not sure how many times you have to hit this guy, or if me hitting the guy really matters. See, I don't know if we're cycling here, or what. And then I'm getting hit because I'm touching it. Let's go ahead and use this. Remember, I have increased speed on my attack, so there we go. 3 cycles is what it took to defeat him. That probably would have taken a little bit more work, and thank goodness I had the potions. I'm hoping that I get some potions in general. And there's a magic seal, so let's grab it and see what it does. And I'm hoping that it will teleport us out of the area, out of the dungeon, so we know that there's not anything of major importance still in the dungeon. And look at the 3D animation of the spinning of Shantae here. That is definitely something you wouldn't have been able to do in the NES era. Maybe you could pull something like that off in the Super NES era, but I doubt it. Even for Game Boy Advance, this is probably fairly high technology, being then lowered down to a very low resolution. I hit the B button, and here we have Risky Boots show up. Well, well, I see you managed to beat me to the first magic seal. Nicely done. Now be a good girl and hand it over. Not a chance. Back off or I'll smash this thing to pieces. No need to be hasty. I'm sure we'll be seeing plenty of each other down the line. Ta-ta. Alright, so that just teleported us perfectly out. Which means if I go this way, I can save. Which I'm becoming obsessed with saving at this point. And then I just need to find the jump back by 1 here, and then go to the right. And then we can just teleport. And I think I will probably be able to teleport straight to the seaside retreat and just move the story forward from that point. I'm hoping. If not, then I'll teleport into this close to the city and hope that moves the story forward. Yep, he's here now. The mayor who told me to leave. Oh, the genie. I suppose you're still angry with me. Sigh. Word has spread. Now that the Risky Boots is plotting revenge, Sequin Land Palace is afraid to send wagons. Without our fishing trade, Scuttletown is all washed up. I was hoping not to resort to this, but here. You got the town deed. So you just now own the town. What's this? The deed to Scuttletown. A wealthy man from beyond the wastelands has been pressuring me to sell the town. I resisted, of course, but now his offer is the only hope for our people. So after much thought, I've decided to turn the reins over to him. Life will never be the same, but at least Scuttletown will be provided for. There has to be some other way. If only there was, but I fear that making a tidy profit from the town moments before it's obliterated is the only solution. Please honor my request as a final act of service. Find the Ammo Baron and give him this deed. Ammo Baron, you say? The next boss. So I don't get to keep the town for myself. Or at least I'm not supposed to. And so now we can just work the pumpkin patch. And I don't even have a ton of money, so like I could get possibly some slight upgrades. I can now walk this way. But probably by the time I get back to the city, I'll be able to upgrade every attack. And even with every attack upgraded, I'm not sure that I'll be able to have a super breezy battles with the bosses, because that guy definitely did have a fairly high amount of health. Of course, I could have tried this, and I didn't. Instead, I wasted all my magic on the fire attack. Monkey time. And we've never been this far before. Of course, I'm not playing perfectly here, I'm just really allowing it to go blow for blow. You can kind of see how a more modern game would have just checkpointed checkpointed you at every location, every screen you change to. You'd also probably have more variance in color and more different types of enemies. We're kind of seeing the same 5 or 6 enemies. There's a slime, that's new. Let's see what's over here. Come on, spider. You know you're gonna fall down. We have a brick here that I can't break. Some flying creatures that take 1 hit to kill, but can still be annoying. We have a path. Apparently can't attack them when they're up at the top. This is quite the journey. Just a spider-filled cave. I guess I needed to cross that part that way. Let's see. Let's look at the map. See what we just did. Yeah. I think we just crossed a as an archer. Interesting. Seriously. So we now see the real danger of getting hit. And if they're gonna put archers right in the middle of the place I need to land, that's gonna be fairly annoying. We want to just jump down here to make sure we have every opportunity to gain as much as possible. As much health, as much... Let's see. Yeah, the problem with this, I would say, is you kind of already would know at this point that interesting. And she can't transform when she's not standing up. Also, like, you kind of already know that you would have the monkey ability, so I'm not sure what the real point would be to have anything hidden behind the monkey abilities now, because there's kind of no way you could be this far in the game without having figured out those tricks. This does seem like there might be multiple paths here. That might lead to something. Here we have a crab. And you definitely should transform into the monkey at this point. It is so slow otherwise. Yeah, the monkey moves so much faster. More gold. gold, and no fast way out. So you gotta go all the way back. And yeah, I guess we will just see more dungeons with little side sections like this. And we'll go down here and see where this takes us. So like little vampire bats, I guess best describe them that way. I don't know, it might be a good argument that this feels like a maze. Where are we now? Yeah, we did just go through a whole maze section, didn't we? We've got a mummy character that takes forever to explode. I imagine these mummies might be fairly heavy hitters. I also kind of feel like there should be a secondary storefront. This is gonna be risky. This is gonna be even riskier. Full death. Alright, so then that puts us kind of far back. Let's just... How many of these can we jump? That's a lot of progress lost. You're gonna have to be fairly careful here. It's kind of obvious now that you don't want to lose that much progress. All these things attacking me all over the place. I don't know if it really is worth it to try to take these characters out. I don't know what happens when you land on the spikes either. That's a question to ask, certainly. Make sure we make every safe jump we can. And I guess we are probably just best suited to try our best to stretch this out in such a way that we get everything done and get that upgrade as quickly as possible. Get 300 rupees and I guess the 3. The monkey still is in kind of this dangerous position. Where is this? It doesn't do anything. There. Well, last time we went right. This time let's go left and see what that ends up placing us. I imagine in the end you're gonna end up having to go both directions. Right. Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised if this is just an area that you can't really do anything with yet. Got some magic jam. And it's just a final wall. And so we have these soldiers in monster suits. We'll attack from here. No here. I'm watching out for evil. Woo. You're a hottie. Boom ba lottie. I don't get to see many of your kind in the middle of the desert like this. Alright. So is this the Armory Baron? Let's see. Kablooey. He's like a one-eyed cyclops. Who are you? Kapow. The Ammo Baron doesn't need another girlfriend. Bourgeois. What he does need is that run down rat hole Scuttletown. It's a perfect staging ground for my new campaign. My men will march across the land like 2 tons of tactical tin toy terror. Rat-a-tat. Hey, that's my home you're talking about. Hold up, girly girl. You got something for the Ammo Baron or not? Ammo Baron hasn't got all day. I guess we can't say no, so let's say yes. Yeehaw. Blamity blue. I knew the old coot would knuckle under. I've got the deed to Scuttletown. That makes the new mayor me. The Ammo Baron. Click clack. Wait for it. Kaboosh. Yeah, well about that. All my friends live in Scuttletown and we're pretty happy with things the way they are. Don't worry about a thing, sweetheart. We're all family now. In fact, with me as the new mayor, that makes you my official citizen. Put her there, soldier. You got a passport. What's this? That's your official Ammo Town passport and activity book. What's Ammo Town? It's your town's new name. New mayor, new name. But don't worry, so now that you're my gal, and I'm your official lordship, why don't you enlist into my private army? We've got an open air shower. Splish splash. No thanks, I've got business far to the right of here. Weehee, ooh, boom, shut down. Okay, sister, I getcha. I'll look like a spry. You look like a spry young thing. Why not train that bot at my private battle tower? It's citizens only, and it's ladies' night. Battle tower? Sure, you can't miss it. Just flash them your passport. Make it to the top and you get a prize. Tell them the Ammo Baron sent you. So clearly we needed that. And these lines of dialogue are not going to change any. And really all I'm looking for right now is just a save point. But yeah, had we made it to the right, I think it's kind of fairly obvious that we would have just been told we needed a passport. There is a danger here of every single joke being kind of centered around Shantae being, well, good looking, physically fit. It's just a little too sexually charged, I guess is the right phrase to use. And while that can be fun, it does just kind of smack as strange when you're talking about a game that's a Game Boy Advance game that you would typically have assumed was for little kids to play. even if you compare this to, I guess it's probably a slightly unfair comparison to compare this to Mario Odyssey, but if you were to compare this to like Mario RPG, the Super NES Mario RPG game, there is more varied dialogue, more varied characters, a full RPG game in it instead of just a platforming game. Not that I'm hating the platforming game here or anything, it's going perfectly fine, perfectly reasonable experience. I will say there is a growing trend that has been happening for a while now of people making new PC games and then trying to make them feel and look like Game Boy games, often to the extent of having them be in full grayscale, like 4-color grayscale, and that is just like an awful experience. Like, if you want a game to feel like a Game Boy game, this is a great example of this, since it actually was a Game Boy Advance game. It feels like a game in the fact that it's not going to select a weapon wheel or anything. You're not going to have massive 3D graphics. It's going to have a lot of that nostalgic appeal to it, while potentially having some modernizations. I'd say even the newer Shantae games kind of go to show where those improvements need to be done for a modern PC game that's trying to feel like a Game Boy game and be nostalgic bait. Let's see. You can't get 2 hits in the same height, unfortunately, which means you're probably not going to be able to actually take out everybody easily. Although I don't know why you really would need the platforming here when you can just kind of pull that off. And since these archery bird characters can't seem to shoot in any direction other than straight forward, you can take them out fairly easily. Although there was nothing up here by the looks of it. And it's not like they're even dropping a large amount of gold. Yeah, I would be critical of this game a lot more if I didn't know for a fact that it actually was a Game Boy Advance game. If this was a 2020 game that came out in the year 2020 and was just designed to look at like this, I'd have a hard time accepting that. But I can't have that much of a hard time because there certainly have been some demakes in some other games that definitely do feel like they have gone for the 8-bit or the 16-bit era style of games, and they've been very well received by people willing to play those kinds of games. The Mummy Demastered is probably more of a 32-bit era game. There's one that's the Castlevania spiritual successor that had a spin-off 8-bit version of that. What is I forget the name of that game, but so it was called something Curse of the Moon. And I want to say something like Shard Light, but I'm fairly certain Shard Light is not the name of the game. Right, so I just need to be fairly careful to not get killed. And so what I'll do is, I think that guy does hit hard enough to justify just refilling my health. Because this would be the ultimate irritants, is if we get hit and end up falling to our deaths. You can actually take 2 or 3 hits from the crabs. Or these mummies, I think, take a whole life out of you. I know that there's been some other games that have gone for an 8-bit visual style, but then there also have been a lot of games that have had very modern visual styles and just tried to expand on what a game like this could have been if you had more space in your save cartridges, your game cartridges, which often barely had like a megabyte worth of space or less. And I think when you go from that perspective, that's where it starts to make a lot more sense that you are taking a concept and expanding it to a more modern level of expectations versus taking a modern level of expectations and trying to squeeze in an old school concept and lower the expectations, which is what I think a lot of people who put games that look like Game Boy games on Steam, and I know that there's probably a rabid fan base, a very niche fan base of Game Boy game fans that would play that, but I personally remember playing Game Boy games, original black and white Game Boy games, and I remember them being fairly frustrating, extremely short, and very, very limited and often very, very bad. The entire battery life without pulling out external battery packs on a Game Boy was barely 6 hours, and it may have been even less than that. So those early games that didn't even save couldn't possibly have been 6 hours of experience, whereas a game nowadays, even a game like this, you're expecting a 5 to 10 hour experience more than likely. I've noticed that we have stopped having so much dialogue now. Is there anything else to say? No, I guess not. This is gonna be the end of this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.